Welcome to the Ideagen Global Partnerships Summit live at the NASDAQ market site. Today, I am honored to have with us Randy Kurtz, who's Executive Vice President from Opportunity International. Welcome.
Nice to be here, George.
So great to be with you here. We are having in-depth interviews with global leaders and luminaries like yourself. And I'd like to go right into our conversation with the role you're playing in Opportunity International. Why is impact investing important, so important to an NGO like Opportunity International?
Well, thanks for that, George. And for our audience, Opportunity International is a 50-year-old NGO that does financial services, supports, and training to lift people out of poverty. Impact investing is really important to us because, first, let's define it. Impact investing is where you expect your money back and a return and have made some positive social or environmental good. All of that has to happen for it to be a real impact investment. I just came back from a conference in Amsterdam where it was the Global Impact Investing Network's annual conference, and they talked about $1.16 trillion raised in impact capital funding. So that's really impressive. But a lot of that capital is focused on fintech, edtech, alternative energy sources, and we refer to those as kind of return first. Where we're at in impact investing is more impact first. But what's great for us is that particularly with Western European and our own US government and corporations and foundations, there's a lot more interest today in that impact first side of the equation that really addresses the bottom of the pyramid.
And so impact investing is relatively new. It's a relatively new world of investing. I think we can agree on that.
Sure.
And it's a new asset category, relatively. Randy, in which sectors do you believe impact investing can be most impactful and ultimately deliver the greatest social good?
Yeah, thanks for that, because that's a way we can play into what Opportunity's been doing for a long time. So we think there can really be tremendous impact in kind of four different things. First is low-cost private schools in developing countries, which play an important part in augmenting the public school system. And then you have smallholder farmer agriculture, climate adaptation, which is the farmers responding to the climate changes, and then finally gender equality. And we know that all of us know that education transforms people and brings them out of poverty in all countries. We know that. And another thing that everybody should know is that half the population in sub-Saharan Africa is engaged in agriculture and what I'll call small-scale agriculture. So that's a big part of Africa. And then you have, on the climate side, climate change. Irregardless of what the causes of climate change are, or what you think about that, the climate changes that are occurring disproportionately affect poorer people. And then the last thing I'll say is that to achieve our goal of eradicating extreme poverty, rising up, bringing up the livelihoods of women is absolutely critical to that goal. So we've got to do these things, and those are the areas we intend to do it.
So there are some very, very big players in this space. There's some very big players in this space. How do you and Opportunity make an impact when there's such large players that you're up against?
Well, so a little bit of my own history is I spent over 25 years on Wall Street with Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, Credit Suisse. So I have some knowledge from those experiences of how much time and investment would be required to set up a complete investment structure, the infrastructure, the back office, all of that. So what we've chosen to do at Opportunity is partner with funds that already have capital raised and are interested in our sectors that I mentioned: low cost private schools, agriculture at the very small farmer level, gender equality, climate adaptation. We're trying to find and partner with those kinds of organizations, and that's how we're going to do it.
Incredible. And so what have been some of the successes and equally so the challenges that you've faced thus far in this journey?
Well, what we've found is that our boots on the ground, and we have over 1,000 farmer support agents in sub-Saharan Africa. We have hundreds of education specialists and finance specialists, and those players are of interest to some of these funds that we're targeting. Last fall, we signed a partnership agreement with Oiko Credit. Oiko Credit is $1 billion plus Dutch-based social impact fund, and they're pairing their capital, and they've committed to put out up to $100 million over the next 3 years, partnered with our technical assistance and our capability with those low-cost private schools. So that's one thing that's already inked. There are two other things that we're working on. I can't use the proper nouns, but we're working right now on a $9 million package of loan guarantees that would back up loans to refugees in Africa. That's with a government entity at the moment. And then separately, probably most exciting, is we've got a vehicle. A couple of my colleagues at OI have created a very innovative credit support structure that, if it works like we think it will really impact our work and scale it up with smallholder farmers who are affected by climate. And it's a climate and a gender equality play combined. So more to follow on that, but we've got a couple things in the lab, so to speak, that are just going to be, I think, great.
Fantastic. Randy Kurtz, EVP, Opportunity International, leading the way, leadership defined, impact, impact, impact. Thank you so very much for your leadership.
Thank you, George. Glad to be with you.
Thank you.